All right. We should be live. All right. Well, folks, welcome to Gamcast. It's 1 p.m., so that means we're here to talk about the news through the lens of law, history, and the Constitution. Folks, important thing happened last week with the Supreme Court that we cover a lot of legal issues, and this is a legal and political issue, of course. And we heard a lot about some of the opinions that the Supreme Court did, but they also, because it was the end of the term ends in June. Sometimes can stretch in July, but generally ends in June. They have a couple months off of the summer. They also have to deny or grant petitions for certiorari. The Supreme Court is a court of limited review. You have to ask it, so-called petition for certiorari, to review a case. You need 4 justices. 4 justices says, yes, we will hear your case, and it goes to the Supreme Court. If it gets less than 4, then it isn't heard. So one of the cases that was not heard was the eviction moratorium cases out there. And there were a bunch of them from New York, from L.A. The one here in the headline here is from L.A. Supreme Court denies challenge to COVID eviction moratorium. And you'll recall various states and the feds, but various states had essentially said you cannot evict somebody. And the petitioners argued, I think correctly, you look here, here's the 5th Amendment to the Constitution. You can look it up yourself. The last line, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation, which is to say you have to pay them. It is so-called takings clause of the 5th Amendment. And the 2 justices, Thomas here writing, joined by Gorsuch, wanted to take the case. Obviously, 2 is not 4, so the case is not going to be heard. A couple points here, and then I'm going to drop off probably less than 3 minutes. First and foremost, this is another case and point of this is not a conservative Supreme Court. You have 6 justices who are Republicans, and you can't get 4 of the 6 to say this obvious taking should be addressed. One other point I want to make, okay, and it's obvious. Notice how they gave money away. It was like they gave it away like butter. You could have paid these people and done the eviction, but they don't want to do it. They don't want to follow the Constitution. Anyway, here's another important point here, why I think the 2 justices were right. The question is the subject of knowledge circuit split, and that's important. So the 8th and the federal circuit would be D.C., had said that it is a taking and you need to pay these people. The 9th Circus Court of Appeals, so-called Circus Court of Appeals, because it's just a joke, it's so far left and fascist, but they have said, no, it's not a taking. Now, how can that not be a taking? Some of these, you weren't allowed to evict someone. In some cases, they were destroying your property. You couldn't do anything about it for 4 years. And you don't get compensation? That's not a taking? Absolutely absurd. Anyway, folks, again, we go live on YouTube every day at 1, so you want to subscribe so you catch it. Show up here at 1 o'clock. I'm probably going to drop the subject like I did today a little early if you want to tune in. And if you do, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you do, you'll see me on the next one.